Welcome to Loving Me Before I Love You with Tammy Nicole, the podcast dedicated to you loving and putting yourself first. Others have come first in your life for years, and you know it's time for that to change. You're about to be empowered to set healthy boundaries, confidently have hard conversations, unapologetically put yourself first, and live the peaceful life you deserve. Remember, self-love is essential, and loving yourself sets the stage for every other love in your life. So get ready to embrace self-love like never before with your host, Coach Tammy Nicole.
Hey, it's Transformation Tuesday over at Loving Me Before I Love You. And we're in the month of July. And in this month, we have been talking about everything being free, living in freedom. We've been talking about living your authentic self. And I just want you to sit back and think about this one thing here. Have you ever found yourself shrinking to fit into some spaces that you were never meant to be in? Maybe you've silenced your voice to keep the peace. Maybe you've dimmed your light so that others will feel comfortable. Or maybe you played a role that no longer suits you. For years, I did the same thing. I checked all the boxes. I showed up how I thought others would want me to. I felt disconnected. I felt far from me. I felt far from my truth, and I felt far from the life that I wanted. It wasn't until I started peeling back the layers of my own life, releasing the expectations of others, and fully embracing who the heck I was, that I found my own freedom. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Today's topic is living authentically. And y'all know I can't say that word, but y'all know what that word is. And it's about embracing your true self. Authenticity isn't just about being honest. It's actually about being in alignment. So it's about showing up as you without apology, without fear, and without the need for external validation. So today, as we explore what it means to be authentic and to live your life in that space, I want to also look at the challenges that come with it. I want to look at the beauty that is waiting on the other side of you living in it. And I want you to learn to fully embrace your true self. So if you ever felt stuck, if you ever felt the need to have validation to be you, I want you to really sit back, listen, and learn some tips and tools that can help you walk in your authentic self. Because you must be able to have the capacity to fit the life that was designed for you. I have a guest with me, and we're going to have a real conversation. That's what we're going to do. We're going to have a real conversation. She is an author, an entrepreneur, a wife, and a mom and a caregiver. And her name is Lady J. She has written a book, and she's going to tell you a whole lot more about it a little later. But I'm going to tell you what I think the book is about at the end. I'm going to tell you what I thought it was just by the title. And she's going to tell you what it is as we go throughout this episode. Again, welcome to the show, Lady J. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be on your podcast today.
I am so excited that you've joined me. When I heard the title of your book, I was like, oh, wait, we got to see exactly what this is all about. Because a lot of times we ourselves don't kind of just step out and do what we want to do. And I know this is your first book, correct?
Yes, it is.
And so you stepped out there and did something you wanted to do and live in your own truth. And I just wanted to dig a little deeper. When you hear the words authenticity, what does living authentically mean to you?
Well, you basically said a little bit. It's about being your true self. And I'm going to tell you, it's a lot of people are not being their true selves. They think they are, but they're not. And there are some criteria to that. I mean, just think about as we were coming up in high school, or we had the peer pressure, right? Mm-hmm. To fit in. That means I can't be my unique self because now I have to fit in to something else. People pleasing. I'm going to do something that I probably would not have really done in my unique self, but in order to be with them or be with that crowd, that's what I'm going to do. It's really embracing and getting to know thyself. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
If you don't know yourself, you're in trouble, because if somebody says you're this, you're that, you're going to believe you're this or that. But
Yeah.
if you know yourself, you could say, I'm sorry, I don't know who you're talking about.
Right.
But I'm not like that.
Right.
I'm this or I'm that, right? And that's with authority, with confidence to know who you are.
Absolutely. So when I am constantly coaching women through my self-love coaching program, Reclaiming Your Power, I really focus on them rediscovering who they are. Most of my clients are mothers, most, not all, but most of them are mothers. And a lot of times we talk about how we have come through a lot of generational trauma. And that generational trauma comes from people not really knowing, right? It's like they didn't know how to raise kids. They were doing what they were taught and they were doing what they saw. And so when we have to learn who we are, sometimes it's removing the titles and the definitions and the things that even our parents gave us. It's not always just the stranger or the friend or someone that you admired previous. It's like most of the time it's our parents have created our narrative. You know, you grow up and they tell you, you can't do this or you will do this, or, you know what I mean? And so peeling back the layers is, I think, the starting point of how you start to figure out, who are you? Who am I?
You start really feeling, you know how you'll say to your teenager, you feeling yourself. So, you know, with all, like you're just talking about the authority and everything with our parents, we're trying to figure out who am I? And so probably when you graduate from high school, you have an opportunity to go to college. Now you're on your own. Now you get a chance to figure it out. The question is it almost too late in a sense to kind of figure out who you are? Because in my situation, unexpected strangers are either people who you thought you knew end up really being a stranger to you. Circumstances that came into your life that just rocked your world because you weren't ready for that unexpected stranger or unexpected event or situation. How do you deal with that? Were you authentic at first? You probably were. But once you went through that, it's almost starting over again. And being authentic, it's not like a one-time thing. Oh, I'm going to be authentic for the next 10, 15 years. My father died within 5 months after we moved my parents here. You know, within 5 months he was gone. Man, that's my dad. I'm daddy's girl. That messed me up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That means I had to start over. It's like my foundation was shook. And so now what? I have to go find myself again. But a lot of times we don't want to be alone with ourselves. See, that's how you really get to know yourself. Now, the therapist can help you because at this particular time, I'm just so outdone. I had to get a therapist. And I love the therapist because what? Free of judgment. You can say whatever you want. They're not here to judge. They are here to help you, to support you. And that's basically what we need.
I agree. There is always a forever learning, right? A forever discovering, because in reality, we are all supposed to be growing or changing all the time. You're not going to be the same person today that you were yesterday, and you're not going to be the same person next week that you are today. You know what I mean? Like, your goal should always be ever changing. Life is going to happen. It's going to intervene and place things in your path that will
Yes.
make the change happen sooner or later for whatever
Yes.
the reasons are. So you do always have to rediscover yourself or forever learn yourself 100%.
My mother says, you're only one age, one time. So it's like, if you're 30, you've never been 30 before.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to learn that. Hey, like you said, you have mothers. They've never been mothers before. And a lot of us sometimes don't have the support. I think that's a lot of things too. I'm so glad for like coaching, and that's why I feel like I'm being called to do as well, because people need to be coached in this type of society that wants you to be anybody else but yourself.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's why it's so important to be unique. How many of us don't even like looking at ourselves in the mirror? People got problems looking at themselves in the mirror. They don't even like the way they look in the mirror, which means they don't like themselves.
Yeah.
And guess what? If you don't like yourself, no one else will either. You'll wonder why they treat you a certain way. It's because you're not showing that you love yourself. And a lot of times I had to go through that.
Yeah.
Can you say, Lady J, I love myself,
Mm-hmm.
and mean it and show it, which means what? Loving yourself. Now you have to set some boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's no people pleasing.
Mm-hmm.
I can do it or I can't do it, or to be within my schedule, or, hey, I guess it just can't be done at all. You have to be able to own yourself, so to speak. And then we don't want to leave out God, because God He's the foundation of everything.
Absolutely.
And he's the one that's going to give us the reflection. We are fearful and wonderfully made.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many different things that he has said to give us the confidence of how much he loves us, so we can turn around and show God's love to others.
Absolutely. You do have to have a foundation of self-love, and that foundation is rooted in God's depiction of who you are. You have to figure out who you are in him, as well as be able to identify that thing. So when you mentioned being able to say, I love you, I love myself, rather, a lot of people, you can ask a person right now, do you love yourself? And they'll immediately say yes, but they're saying yes for the fear of rejection if they said no. They're saying yes because of the fear of what you're going to think of them if they say no. But if you then turn around and ask them the qualities of what it requires to actually love themselves, if they do those things, then those answers come back as no. So it's always, well, how could you love yourself if these things that are required in the act of love are absent? What are those things? Do you provide self-forgiveness? Are you well and healthy? Are you self-aware? Can you be accountable for your own actions, good, bad, or indifferent? Just small, simple things that require you to show grace to yourself. Those are things that kind of say, oh, I love me. Because I can set healthy boundaries. I can forgive myself. I can learn and grow. I'm not staying stunted.
Right.
But a lot of times we don't, I think when we suppress ourselves because we are trying to become something for someone else, the people pleasing is like the dead giveaway.
Oh, that's hot.
But when you are suppressing your true self in order to, as you say, fit in, it's costing you something. It's costing you something when you hide your true self. How do you help people learn the cost of hiding who they really are? What do you think is associated with that cost?
I think you almost have to take people from the beginning. Just like you said, liking yourself. Hey, I need to know if I even like going out with myself. I'll go to a movie in a minute, get dressed up, look fabulous, and go out and take myself out to dinner, where other people just got to have somebody with them. You remember COVID.
Mm-hmm.
People were committing suicide. They could not bear being in the house.
Yeah.
So that means you didn't even like being with yourself. I'll tell you, when I've lost myself a couple of times, there was so much information on YouTube. When she told me I needed to do self-care, I said, wow, I got so much going on in my own life.
Mm-hmm.
When I even have time to even do that,
Mm-hmm.
From getting up in the morning to going to bed late at night, I went ahead and looked it up, the different things to do on self-care.
Mm-hmm.
If it's nothing but taking out a 10-minute, I say brain break, a mental break, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that you could just rest yourself. A lot of us work from home. We're on the computer all the time. Hey, just take a break. Just go outside for a few minutes and take some deep breaths. All these little things is self-care. If you do self-care, that means I'm making myself more of a priority, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm showing more and more I'm loving myself. Oh,
Right.
I'm going to schedule. And that's the thing too. We don't schedule. You have to schedule self-care. It's just not going to pop up and say, oh, I have an hour to spare. I think I'll put some self-care in here.
Right.
It's not going to work like that. You have to, just like you scheduled your job, you schedule everything else. You have to schedule self-care.
Yeah. You have to be intentional about you, period.
Yes. I like that. Be intentional about you. That's
Yes.
what's up.
So when people are learning, or when they are trying to learn, how do they put themselves first because they've been so busy putting other people first, I tend to teach them to do small things like you were just mentioning. And the first thing is keep your word to you, right?
Accountability.
Keep your word to yourself. So as you build the trust in you, then you can build doing things for you later, right? So it doesn't matter what it is. If you say you're going to go get your hair done, go get it done. Don't let it be, oh man, I know I was supposed to do that, but my kid needs X, Y, and Z to happen on that day. So I'm going to reschedule me and take care of them. It's like, no, you need to learn to build a support system in place and prioritize accordingly. But you matter. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of times we get in the habit of doing for other people more than we do for ourselves. And we always put ourselves last. And I want you
I think that's a woman thing. We're nurturers, and we just want to do that. The strong Black woman is a myth, ladies. It is a myth. We cannot be strong all the time.
Absolutely.
Okay. Sometimes we just want to be cuddled and loved. If you have to do it yourself, you're single or what have you, hey, learn to love yourself and give yourself a big hug. You need to be touched, get yourself a detox full massage. Ladies, it is the best thing ever. And even men are doing it. I took my spouse one time. His neck, his shoulders and all that. All you could hear him say was, oh my goodness, I didn't know I was so tense. Just little things. You go around, you shop around, do things you've never done before. That's what I like to do. I didn't have a detox massage. I looked it up, got the best price, and just said, you know what? About once a month, I'm going to come on in here and I'm going to do it. Learn to reschedule if you have to. But if you're doing your schedule, just make sure it's on a day that's for you. Even if it's not but about 30 minutes, an hour. It doesn't have to be a whole day. Just do something for you and your body will thank you.
Absolutely. I think a lot of times, again, when I say we put ourselves on the back burner, it's more so because we're so used to taking care of everybody else. I think
That's
you
true.
feel better when you put yourself first. I think you will learn your capacity when you put yourself first. So even if it requires you to get up 15 minutes earlier than you normally get up in the morning so that you
Mm-hmm.
can be intentional about your day and intentional about yourself, give yourself that time and that space. Schedule you into your day.
That's right.
If you take one day a week, if you want to start small and say, you know what, I'm going to take one day a week, 30 minutes in that one day or an hour in that one day to do nothing but what I want to do. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you want to sleep. I don't care if you want to read a book. I don't care if you want to sit in complete silence. Whatever it is that make you feel good, do it. And I agree with you. The other option is to learn something about yourself that you don't know. How do
Yes.
you do that? You do things you've never done. You do it and then write it down when you do it and say, did I like that? Oh, I did. What did I like about it? Actually evaluate the things around you. Some of us are doing things we don't like simply because we're used to doing them. Because somebody else told us to do it or somebody else made us do it. And we just have been doing it because we think it's the only option. And it's not. And I say that, and y'all probably going to be laughing or even mad. I don't know. But I say that when it comes to stuff like tradition. I don't do traditional Thanksgiving in my house.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I don't, because I'm not a big fan of soul food.
Okay.
It's just not my thing, right? But
So what do you serve?
We switch it up. We do Mexican food sometimes. We do seafood boils sometimes. We just switch it up. And that's because that's what I like.
Well, Thanksgiving is really, I think we get away from things and the traditional thing. It's about family. It's about thankful, because if we go back in history, it was the harvest.
Yeah.
It is because they did the fruits, the vegetables, or what have you. It was a big harvest and everybody got together to celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big harvest within our family. It's when families come together over meals and have fun and play games and just catch up with one another.
Right.
See, that's what it's all about. It's just like what you're saying. When we're small, we're doing what our parents do and what they say do. But I love it because you created new traditions.
Yes. And I don't per se call them a tradition. I just say do what you feel like, because though I'm teaching my kids that, I don't have to do what the average family is out there doing. I can do what feels right to me. And we choose, what do y'all feel like? This, Thanksgiving, what do you want to eat? Okay, we'll choose something else. Those are just the varieties that kind of happen more often because that's what we like to eat. It's not just about this is what we're supposed to do because it's Thanksgiving. You must have dressing and mac and cheese and turkey and ham and cranberries. Like, no, you don't have to. You have to do what you like, what you want. It's about you living your own life, your own way. Period.
I'm going to say too, enjoying life. And this is the main question. Are you happy?
Wow, today's episode is a good one. I know you're enjoying it, and we'll get back to it shortly. Just wanted to take a quick break to let you know that Tammy would love for you to share any questions, comments, or topic ideas you have with her. All you have to do is send them to her in an email to podcast@IamTammyNicole.com. Thank you, and without further ado, let's get back into today's show.
I had a friend I hadn't talked to in a long time, and I was just coming out of some things. And so I asked, were they happy? Hands down, no problem. Life has been good. When they
Mm-hmm.
asked me the question, I paused and I said, I'm blessed and thankful. After I got off the phone, I said, Lady J, why couldn't you say yes or no? I had to think about it. I had to ask the question right then and there. Lady J, are you happy? What makes you happy? Then it was like the Lord spoke to me. Happiness is a temporary emotion.
Mm-hmm. It's
But
based
when
upon
you have
happenings.
joy is in any situation that you will still have it. Yes, you'll go through something, but you still have that joy. Happiness, too, is a choice. I choose to be happy today, or I can choose to be angry. I can choose and want to get on your nerve. I can choose to gain weight, or I can choose to lose it. We all have choices.
Absolutely.
And so that's what's going to make us, and to enjoy life. I enjoy life. I mean, with everything going on here in this world, it used to be you died when you got older. No, we're dying at any age. Enjoy your life, I guess, while you can, because tomorrow's not promised. It is a true statement.
Absolutely.
Enjoy your life today. Make a decision that I'm going to enjoy my life. Write down some of the things. It was some movie that was on years ago, write a bucket list.
Yes, I remember the bucket
And
list. That's
do
amazing.
some of the things. A lot of us started doing that, doing some things in some time, and enjoy your life.
Yes, I think we have placed a lot of value and emphasis on financial stability. And though we need the finances, if you lose the enjoyment of life at the cost of like becoming financially stable and dying, what's the point?
Exactly.
Like what is the point? I think it is very important to evaluate the life that you're living. Ask
Yes.
yourself, am I living the life I want to live? As the very first question. And if you can't answer that, then you start back to who are you? What are the things that you enjoy? What are the things that you don't enjoy? What are the things that you are seeking that you can't put an answer to? And start journaling, start writing down these things that pop up so that you can live your authentic life. Authenticity is like being true to you. And when
Yes.
you break down the word truth, it's it's something that doesn't come back void. It's like it's the truth, right? Now it's your truth, and everybody else has their truth. Because perception is everything, and your
It
perception is your
is.
reality. So you have to identify, define, and determine
Mm-hmm.
your authentic self.
And that's really who you really are. Who are you? They say you begin to know and come together with yourself like at 5, 6, 7. You start flowing who you are as you come through life. And then when you're a teenager, you have an idea of who you are. And then when you become an adult, you have an idea of who you are. Sometimes you have to, how do you say, grow, explore, all the different things that we said. Also, too, journaling. I really wanted to get into plan, journaling, goals.
Mm-hmm.
If we're just, how do you say, sliding by in life,
Going with
then
the
that's how
flow.
you feel. Going with the flow.
Yeah,
Remember you used to say that, oh, I'm just going with
going
the
with the
flow. And I
where
said, well,
where
you
are
ain't
you
got nothing
flowing?
going on with yourself.
Where are you flowing? You
Okay,
know,
where you flowing to?
where is that river going to end?
You know
You
what I'm
know,
saying? So you have to have goals. You have to, and me doing my journal, I mean, I have mine right over here beside me that you could just write into and just find out some of the things you want to do. If you love to travel, Hey, write down a couple of places that you want to go. There's so many places in our surrounding areas. Sometimes we feel like we have to go across country. Do you know your surrounding areas?
Yeah.
I love day trips. I love, maybe an overnight stay where I can see different places.
Yeah.
I just did a girls trip this past weekend. We had so much fun. It was just three of us, and we went about 4 hours away, spending out an Airbnb a couple of nights and had a ball. Got together with some other girlfriends. It makes you so rejuvenated from the same old routine that you have. So when I come back, I'm refreshed.
Yeah.
If you're still going around and, life has got you down, it's time for us now to take control of our lives and don't let life take over for you.
That is so
was
true.
it.
How do you break free from the expectations of others?
How do you break free? See, I can't even say the word either. Being authentic for one thing. If you're not your unique self, how can you go the next step? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tell me that question again.
How do you break free from the expectations of others?
Stop being a people pleaser. Start learning to say no. Start setting your boundaries for you. I have a lot more respect for people when they say what they're going to do instead of saying yes on everything. And then I'm questioning, do you ever say no? People remember the mothers and the fathers. We could see who we could get away with the most.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Everyone is looking at, do you have authority or not have authority? Are you a professional or not professional? How do you want people to see you? How is it that you want to be?
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know that, then how can you get that over to somebody else?
Yeah.
So those are the different things that that's going to have to really be done. Give yourself permission to explore what truly makes you happy. And like I said, set the boundaries, surround yourself with people who support your authentic self. So whatever those people you were hanging with that want you to be somebody else to hang with them, we need to change friends.
Yeah. I think when people ask me, how do I break free from the expectations of other people? My number one answer is have expectations for yourself. So if you don't have your own expectations for you,
yes,
you will always fall into the trap of trying to meet the expectations of them. And so because we are naturally driven to have some level of validation, we don't validate ourselves, so we look for other people to validate us. We don't affirm ourselves, so we look for other people to affirm us. We don't expect nothing of ourselves, so we live up to the expectations of others. So if you would like to break free from their expectation, create one for yourself.
That is basically everything goes back to us. It starts with us. It ends with us. And so if we're not giving it, for me to write my first book, I always wrote little short stories. I still wish I had them because I had my computers that crashed a couple of times. That I would just do that, not thinking I was going to write a book. But then when I started telling my stories or what have you, they were like, Lady J, you should write a book. Oh, yeah. Nah, that's not really me. But it became a part in my life. As you grow, as you learn more about yourself, then you start to know your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Then I knew it was time for me to write that book. When I told my therapist, yeah, people say my life is like a soap opera, I should write a book. I started laughing. She laughed, and then she said, why don't you? I said, excuse me? She said, you should go ahead and write a book. She says, even if you never print it, just write it out.
Yeah.
I said, I wouldn't know where to start. I went to the Lord. I prayed about it. He gave me the title. In January of last year, I just started writing with my schedule, early morning when it's nice and quiet, late at night when it's quiet. And then I just started writing. I said, where do I start? He said, start from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And then just go from there. So now I'm a writer. And I have 2 more books within me.
Awesome.
Who knew?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But again, if I didn't start from the beginning, and plus 2, I think we get caught up too in the experiences that we have.
Mm-hmm.
When we have the experiences, is 1 or 2 choices it's going to do. Either you're going to allow it to take you out that way, you're going to keep blaming people for the issue or circumstances that you have. My father used to say, that's life. I said, excuse me? Like, in other words, get with the program, deal with it, regroup, start again so you can get it. The Murphy's Law is powerful because once you decide that I'm going to do this goal, or I'm going to go over here, Murphy Law comes in and gives you all kind of distractions. You notice at the beginning of the year, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to lose 30 pounds. Oh, I'm going to head to the gym. How many people at the gym know, oh, you'll probably be there January, February. We probably won't see you for the rest of the year. Because
they're not living authentic. You know what I mean? They're doing it based upon what other people, the trend.
And they don't like themselves. Because see, if you knew that you like yourself and your body is out of order, get it back in order. I want a man that's fit. I want a man that has money. You not fit. You don't have no money. You don't have no house. You don't have no car, but you want that from somebody else. Yeah. So when you say expectations, when you put expectations on other people, and the thing is, don't overdo expectations on yourself, because that's what I was doing. I just felt like I'm writing down my goals and all this. I'm just overly doing it. In moderation, give yourself expectations because it gives you a good feeling as you growing, right? It gives you a feeling that I can make a difference in this world. And that was my thing, Lord, how can I make a difference? Sometimes you have to go through something to get where you're going. I like the story about the caterpillar, right? The caterpillar is struggling, and he has to struggle to become that butterfly.
Yeah.
But what will happen if you open up his cocoon while
before
he
was ready?
He will die in the struggle. He will not become that butterfly. So we all have to have those growing pains. And we have to be aware. That's education. Knowing thyself. Read. They said the best thing people don't do, put it in a book. They're not going to read it.
Right.
There's Audible. There's no excuse. There's YouTube. There's no excuse. If I have a problem and it needs to be solved, and what's the saying? Where you are now is how far your mind took you. If you're trying to get further than where you want to go, then go get the education, get the training, get what you need. Hey, I'm impressed to be a life coach. That's what I feel like my next step is. So what am I going to do? I'm going to get trained for it. That's what I'm going to do. We just can't say we want to do things and we don't have anything in place to get where we're going. Well, we know those kind of people. Oh, yeah. And say you just saw them 5 years ago. So what are you doing now? I'm still trying to do so-and-so. I'm still trying to do with 5 years. Oh, you should have been that in business. You should have been traveling around the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But a lot of times that's because what they're saying that they want is really there's something that somebody else said that they wanted for them.
You know, that is so true.
That's
Because
what
if
it
it's
is.
something that they really wanted to do, you got cut off there right quick. I think you were
Sorry.
saying something.
I was saying that it's more about what other people wanted for them versus what they wanted for
Yeah.
themselves.
So we're repeating what somebody else said instead of going back to us and figure out what we want.
Yep.
See, it's what we want that counts.
Absolutely. But we don't know what we want. You see what I'm saying? Like the biggest hurdle for individuals in being or becoming fully authentic is the knowledge base of who they are.
That's it.
Who they are, why they're here, what is their purpose. All of those things are a necessity for them to be authentic.
You nailed it right there on the head. And in the unexpected stranger, it's going to be all kind of things going on. Emotions, self-discovery, growth, resilience, faith, knowing that you can't do it without God. Because all of us are going to deal with that unexpected stranger, event, or circumstance.
Yeah.
How are you going to handle that?
Yeah.
Some things do blow you out the water, but what are the resources that you know that you can have? That's why you have to be aware.
Yeah.
That's why you hang with educated people. That's why we have podcasts, because we want to motivate and encourage you to take the next steps of growth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I want you to tell the listeners one thing that you want them to have learned from this subject, this topic tonight, that would help them grow and become more authentic as you have learned to grow and become authentic in your own journey of life.
Well, no matter where we are in our struggles, please take a moment to regroup. You might have been authentic at first, but if you had things that came into your life and shook you, then you're going to have to take a minute to regroup and get to know yourself again. And it might not be the same person 10, 20 years ago. More than likely, you've grown since then. Now you're going to take some other education, right? What you don't know, learn it. If you don't know, get educated. And I'll tell you too, a lot of times what you go through, somebody else is just coming out of it, and you can be a support, an emotional support to them.
Yes.
So to be authentic is taking the steps to do it. Self-care, loving yourself, being able to look at yourself. If you cannot look at yourself in the mirror and you're 70, 80 years old, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't care how much you've grown, you still have a problem looking at yourself. Your body, you don't like it, get it in shape. Okay. You don't like the way your face looks, get it in shape.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes we can go get a dermatologist or something, things that we have in our control to do that. And just take small steps. Just put it up in your journal. I encourage that because you get a chance to write things down or what have you that can really help you. Learn to go out on dates with yourself. So when you get out with others, no problem. If you married, learn to schedule those times with your spouse. We like going out on brunch on Sundays, and we like going to different places. Have they gotten expensive? Yeah. If we used to go every week, once a month, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But then we get a chance to cook at home, making new, we might not want to say traditions, but making new things that we can do together, not only for ourselves, but then again with our families.
Absolutely. You mentioned a thing that brought this thought to me. Being authentic is so important because the life you live is not for you. It is for somebody else. So
Yes.
she mentioned you could help someone going through something you've already gone through.
Mhm.
Your circumstance is to help somebody that's going to go through it. It's also for you to identify with other people who have gone through it so that you can also get the help to get through it. Life is a cycle of, I go through this for somebody else so that I can help them when they get there. It don't matter how good, bad, ugly, or indifferent it is.
Mhm.
Your life is not your own. It's not meant for you. It's meant for others. So I encourage you to live authentically, live on purpose, live with intentions. If they would like to get your book, where can they find it and how can they reach you?
They can get it at AuthorLadyJ.com. You can get a free chapter and read it straight out. And I guarantee you're going to want to get the book. AuthorLadyJ.com, The Unexpected Stranger. It's going to take you on a road that you're going to go, oh my goodness, I can't believe of this journey. And we all have different journeys. You know, the silent generation didn't want to talk, didn't really want to share. You had to kind of pick it up.
Yeah.
You know, and then we're wondering, as far as being your authentic self, it helps to know where you came from.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's hard to know where you came from to identify, oh, I got this from my mom, or I got this from my dad, or I got this from my uncle or my aunt. That gives me the foundation of where I am. But if it's something that I really don't like, guess what? It can be changed for that better authentic self.
Awesome. So remember, be authentic, be you, because your life is not your own. And don't forget to love yourself so much that the love from others is a bonus. Thanks, Lady J, for joining us. And we are looking forward to reading your book. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your day. See you next week.
That's a wrap on another episode of Loving Me Before I Love You. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a second to show your support by subscribing and leaving a positive rating and review on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Stay connected with Tammy. Make sure you're following her on Instagram and TikTok at Coach Tammy Nicole. If you like to work with Tammy or have any questions you'd like her to answer, please head over to www.IamTammyNicole.com. Until next time, always remember to love yourself so much that the love from others is a bonus.